What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. First thing I want to do today, I think it's still sunny outside. We gotta see how good this paint looks in the sun. And it is sunny. So let's pull the car outside real quick, make sure that it looks good. And if it doesn't look good, I'm gonna cry. And that's pretty much all I'm gonna do. And then we need to get started on all the body work that we have to do on this thing. Black paint is amazing when it's polished properly. This thing looks insane. It's super freaking harsh out right now, but check out how flawless this paint came out, boys. I don't see a single swirl in this thing. I see a little dent though. I didn't see that dent before. Jesus, it's bright. I am very impressed. I'm stoked. It makes my truck look like complete ass, to be honest. One day we'll get that truck done, but that truck, seeing how this took like 23 hours, that thing's like 4 times the size. That would probably take like 70, 80 hours. With the way that I detail stuff, I'm really slow at it. I wish I could get it done faster, but I like stuff to be as nice as possible. So it is what it is. I don't mind it, because at the end of the day, it's so freaking, it's insane what it looks like. Oh, I love it. I am more excited than ever to start building, like modifying this car. At first, right when I got it, I wasn't like super stoked about it because I already had some stuff done. But now seeing it like freshly polished kind of re-sparks the flame. But before we do any mods on this thing, before we do different wheels and tires and maybe wide body turbo, maybe bags, maybe wrap, probably not wrap because the paint looks sick, we need to fix the bumper and the fender. I don't really know how I'm gonna fix this fender. And to some of you guys watching, you probably think I'm not very smart, and it's true, I'm not. I've never really done much metal work like this before, and I really don't want it wavy whatsoever. That's the only thing wrong with this fender, is that right there. And then there's like some rock chips that I will obviously fix as well, because we're gonna be respraying it. But yeah, this bugs me. So somehow I need to flatten that out. I'm sure we're gonna have to do a tiny bit of filler just to make it 100% flat and perfect. I don't wanna do a lot of filler though, because I don't want it ever to like start failing or cracking out or anything. If possible, I'd like to keep it all metal. And then the bumper, somebody down the road threw this AP2 bumper on, which I'm very thankful for because it looks amazing, but they did not do a quality paint job, and it's kind of flaking off up here. It doesn't look good. It's cracked here. It looks like they did a badge delete, which you can clearly see right there. You can see the old holes. So we're gonna fix that up. I'm debating putting a badge back on it. I'm gonna do the red Honda badges, definitely on the back, maybe on the front. Drop a comment below, actually. Should we leave it badgeless? So look how it looks now. Oh, that thing's crusty. Or should we do a red Honda badge? Comment below. I am not sure how far I'm gonna get today. This kind of stuff I'm very slow at because I haven't done a lot of paint work or body work. So it'd be nice to get everything prepped out, maybe lay some primer down. I don't really know. We're gonna get as far as we possibly can. And then we have some BMW stuff to do today as well later on. But for now, let's just go ahead and pop off the bumper. I think the lip paint is like perfect. So I don't think we even have to spray the front lip, which is gonna be nice, save us a lot of time and prep work. And then I think I'm gonna try to fix the fender while it's on the car, just so it's mounted up on something sturdy, and we can try and get that metal shaped and formed back to how it's supposed to sit. But let's go ahead and pull off the bumper, headlights, and then we can start working on the fender. Like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna give a few hammers and some other utensils a whirl on this thing and see if we can get that flattened out. Problem here is the fender is so thin that I don't want to like deform the rest of the fender, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna take it easy. I'm gonna be gentle with it and see if we can get that thing fixed up. With this plethora of Harbor Freight hammers and body things and some SK Tools pliers, this is what we ended up with. It looks like complete ass, I agree, and we're just getting started. But I feel like that's pretty good for all the metal work. If anyone watching this video is an actual like good body man, drop a comment below. How would you guys have fixed this? Because I feel like that's good on the metal work. And now I'm gonna go ahead, get all that paint off the damaged area and apply some filler. And then we can sand the filler smooth, make sure it's completely flat, completely straight, and then move on to some filler primer if needed, which probably will be needed to fill in the sand scratches. That's kind of the process I'm thinking. I feel like that's a good start. So let's move on to getting that all ground out and slap some filler on there. I'm sure I'll get some comments about this, but this is the filler that we're gonna be using. I really wanna do some research and get better at body work, but I do know that this is probably one of the lower end fillers that you can use. But this is all I have here at the shop. Let's get a little bit mixed up, slap it on that fender, and let it dry. I just completely messed this up. I clearly put way too much hardener in this and it's already starting to harden. So I'm gonna rip all this gunk off of here and redo it. Because if that fails, it's gonna ruin everything. All right, that's much better. That there gives us an idea of the low spots that we had. I don't think there's really any high spots at all. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see when we're all said and done. But I think we are on the right path. I sometimes get asked how I know how to do things. I do not know what I'm doing right now. And this is how I learn. I just dive into it and kind of figure it out as I go. Like I have a rough idea of how to move metal, I guess you could say, and how to apply body filler. But at the end of the day, I really have no clue what I'm doing. So that's how I learned a lot of new things. Like that's how I learned to wrap. I just started, figured it out as I went. I messed up a lot, a ton of times I messed up wrapping. That's how I learned to paint. You guys have seen me mess up so many paint jobs. That's how I learned to build motors. I never went to school. Obviously I was born and raised in a very mechanical family. My dad, all my brothers, but at the end of the day, like they never really, they didn't show me a specific skill like this. We all kind of just learn as we go. I think we have a guest. Let's see who the guest is. Hello? Damn, that's a bussin' shirt.
I know, where's yours?
I gotta support the boys today.
Yeah. Holy crap, dude. That looks a million times better.
That's the whole car used to look like that janky ass bumper.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Dude, black is so, like...
There was still definitely some high spots in there. After I sanded down the filler, went ahead with a little body hammer, tried to tap in those high spots, filled it again, gonna let that dry. In the meantime, let's start busting on, I almost said busting. Let's start busting on the front bumper. Like I said, I think the lip is in good shape. It looks like it was just sprayed. It's clean, no scars, no damage whatsoever to the lip. So I'm gonna pull that thing off and we're gonna set it aside. It's gonna save us time and money, and then we can start scuffing up this bumper. We need to fix this right here. I do want to go ahead and fill the holes for the license plate. So we gotta figure out how to do that, because I don't know if I've ever done that before. So figure that out and then fix all the damaged areas. So the whole entire bumper is gonna be scuffed up with black Scotch-Brite, and we are gonna be doing a full respray color and clear. On that fender, the plan is to only do color on the area that we're fixing, kind of fade it out, and then obviously re-clear the whole entire fender. But this thing is gonna get a full 100% respray. So instead of it being shiny like this, we need to make it all like that, so the paint has something to stick to. I started going at it on this bumper with the Scotch-Brite for about 2 minutes, and then I realized there's way more damage than I thought. Ton of rock chips, so I decided, screw it, I'm gonna make this fast and easy, and I busted out the DA with the intermittent foam pad and some 600 grit, went to town on the bumper, and we made a lot of progress in about 30 minutes. Let's move on back over to this front fender. I'm trying to get this fender done first because I know that this fender takes products like the Bondo and some filler primer that takes a while to cure. And I don't think the bumper will need some filler as well. But either way, I just want to get the fender done first because it's stressing me out. That looks amazing. It feels amazing. It feels nice and flat. Of course, there's some pretty deep scratches from the 80 grit we were just sanding with. So I think this fender right here is honestly ready for some filler primer, which is exciting. Not bad for like my first time. I guess we're not done yet. We still have to lay the paint and see how it really looks under some paint, but I think it's gonna look good. What do we need to do on this bumper? So as you can see, the majority of the bumper is sanded down. We need some filler right there. I did decide I'm just gonna keep it badgeless. I think it's gonna look nice and clean. And then we're gonna have to fill these holes in too. I'll probably fiberglass the backside and then I guess just fill the rest with filler, I think that's how you should do it. I don't really know. That's what I'm gonna do. The whole bumper needs to look like this though. You see all these areas down here, we couldn't get in there with the DA. So that'll all be scuffed up with just some Scotch-Brite. And these guys do not pop out, so we're gonna have to mask those off. But we've made a ton of progress and it's exciting. We might get around to some paint today. Maybe not, but hopefully. I have no clue what they used to do this badge delete, whatever it was. It did not work. Watch this. Now we have no badge delete. Whatever that was, definitely won't be using that. So now we gotta fill those holes as well. All right, so what we did was grind off those little nubs that were on there, scuff the whole area up that we're gonna be applying the fiberglass to with 40 grit, and then slap down a few sheets of fiberglass with the resin. As soon as that dries, that should be a perfect backbone for filling in those holes. Our fiberglass is all dry and cured. Let's flip this thing over and slap in some filler. I actually just had an idea, and I think this way is gonna go a little bit, it's gonna last a little bit longer. Instead of filling that hole with Bondo, I'm gonna fill the holes with fiberglass epoxy first, and then sand that smooth, and anything that's left, we'll fill that with Bondo. Let's go ahead and scuff this fender up. So everywhere that we're just slopping down clear is going to be scuffed with either, I was recommended either really worn out red Scotch-Brite, which I do have here, or gray Scotch-Brite, which I do not have here. So I'm going to use this worn out red, and the whole fender is going to be scuffed because we're re-clearing the whole thing. The clear does need something to stick to and bond to, something a little scratched up and scuffed up. So that is what we got going on. Let's get her done. I'm gonna do the majority of it while it's on the car. Makes life a little bit easier and I can sit down while I'm doing it. And then we do need to go get paint just in case we have time to spray tonight. We probably won't. It's looking like we probably won't have time today, but we might. So I'm gonna go get paint just in case. Gave her a quick scuff, and while I was scuffing it, decided I want to make it perfect, so I went ahead, filled all the rock chips. I learned this technique at Bobby's dad's shop when we were doing her STI. Instead of trying to sand all the rock chips out, just fill them and then sand them smooth, and you won't have low spots in the paint from sanding each and every one of those things out. Let's pop back over to the bumper. This thing should be ready for some sanding. So sand all these guys smooth, and this thing's ready to be sprayed. Here's what we ended up with on the bumper. Nice and flat. Can't feel it whatsoever. So we're gonna go ahead, hit some filler on these 3 areas here. The area that was messed up here, that was just peeling paint. So I got that all sanded smooth. And any other area or spot on the bumper that was peeling, got that all sanded smooth. So yeah, filler on those 3 spots. And then just this one spot on the fender, on the slip here that we fixed up. These guys will just be sanded smooth and they should be ready for a little bit of color. So I guess instead of color just on the slip here, we're gonna have to do color on from like here forward. Here's something else that we're adding into the mix. I've never once blended paint in my life. Based off the people I've talked to and the research I've done, it sounds pretty easy. I definitely don't wanna go color all the way to the hood, just in case it's not 100% perfect match. So if we could just spot in these guys here and kind of, we don't have much room to work with, but kind of fade it that way. And then we have a ton of space over here to blend it in. And then just clear the whole fender and she should look hopefully nice. With that being said, let's go jump in the Duramax. I'm gonna head down to the paint store, do I have clear here? I may still have clear from the last project. That'd be nice because I think clear is usually fairly expensive. But I definitely need to buy some base, maybe some clear, and I think I have everything else. I have filler here. I don't know if I need to do epoxy primer on the bumper or not. I'll talk to them. There's a lot of bare areas on it, so if they recommend it, then I will. If they say, no, you're good, then I won't. Ran to the store and grabbed our base coat, which is in there. We got some more clear with the hardener, and then we also picked up some black epoxy primer. Let's pull off the fender, throw the wheel back on the car. Let's get the S2K outside, the Evo 10 outside, just so we have the front of the shop to spray some primer around. Of course, when I go to do base and clear, the whole shop is gonna be empty because I'm sick of overspray on cars. It's really freaking annoying. So yeah, let's get these 2 cars out and we can get some primer laid out. We need these 3 things right here. MP282, this is a high build 2K primer. We need the hardener and a little bit of reducer. So it goes 4 parts of that to 1 to 1. All this is gonna do is fill in the scratches and any maybe very minor low spots that we might have. We got some wax and grease remover here. Got the fender kind of masked off. I don't want a bunch of overspray everywhere else, just so we don't have to clean that up later. Get her cleaned up with some wax and grease remover and lay down some filler. We have the filler slapped down on the bumper and the fender. And honestly, guys, I'm very happy with how this fender turned out. You can kind of tell when the primer is still wet how it's gonna look because it's glossy. When it dries, you can't really tell. But as soon as we sand this thing flat, get it all smoothed out, I'm pretty sure that you won't be able to tell we ever did any sort of work to this as long as the paint lays down good. So that is exciting me. And then the bumper as well. You shouldn't be able to tell there were any holes or any sort of work done on this bumper. We're getting better, slowly but surely. We're getting a little bit better each time. I'm gonna let this stuff dry. So I'm gonna jump in the Evo 10 real quick, go for a quick rip, go to the gym, but I might as well drive something fun instead of the truck all the time. Let's go ahead and flat sand these areas. It's been drying for a while now, probably a little bit longer than needed, but it's okay. So I'm just gonna grab some 400 grit on a sanding block, knock this down, make sure it's 100% perfect before we do some epoxy. Pouring paint out of a new can, always the worst. It's always a mess. We're gonna do a 2-to-1 ratio of 172 to the catalyst. So make sure this is all mixed up. All right, we got the epoxy in the gun. Everything over here is good to go. Not really sure what just happened. Sprayed on the epoxy, there was really, really bad fish eyes. So let me figure out what the hell just went wrong. All right, we finally got it figured out. I don't know what the problem was. One thing I did forget is there's a 15-minute induction time, meaning as soon as you mix the paint, put it in the gun, you just gotta let it sit for 15 minutes. So it's either that or there was still some solvent, some cleaning solvent in the gun. So it's one of those two things, because I know the panels were clean, but fender's good to go. Let's hit the bumper. All right, so we got everything sprayed out. It turned out really, really nice. I am needing to do some research because I don't think the bumper is a big deal, but this fender where I had it masked off, there's a line right here. So I think if I just slightly scuff that line just so there's not a hard line, and then we go ahead and lay the paint down from there, I think we should be all right. Aww, poor Bob.
Baby, I don't want to be on camera right now.
Are you a sick girl?
Coda and I are sick.
At least Coda took care of you all day, huh? Would you like dinner?
Starved.
Starving? I got you.
How long?
Till it's ready?
Yeah.
10 minutes. Special delivery for Bobby Wallace. Don't spill.
Wowie.
It's really full.
Wow.
Was that too much soup for Mama?
That's a lot of soup, but no, it's perfect. Can I have some saltines, please?
That's your mother, you know. That's your mama.